Here's the Quechua 2 seconds fresh and black pop-up tent, here's the regular 2 seconds pop-up tent, and in this video I'll be going through all the differences between these two tents. The fresh and black 2 seconds tent takes 30 seconds more to set up than the regular 2 seconds tent because it comes with these 2 extra vents that you need to stake down and adjust. Altogether, it usually takes me about 3 minutes to set up the fresh and black and 2.5 minutes to set up the regular 2 seconds tent. Both tents come with 4 loops to stake down the tent body and 7 loops for 7 guy lines which do not come pre-attached. You do have to attach them yourself and will take you a few extra minutes on your first setup. The fresh and black 2 seconds tent also takes 30 seconds more to take down and pack up because of the 2 extra vents. Each vent comes with 2 S-hooks that you can attach to the fiberglass poles of the tent body and this black latch that you can use to tie up the vent guy lines. The rest of the process is the same for both tents, from fastening all the red and yellow buckles and folding the tent up. The fresh and black 2 seconds tent usually takes me 3 minutes to take down and pack up, while the regular 2 seconds tent takes me about 2.5 minutes. I usually leave all the guy lines attached, so if you want to remove them, it'll take slightly longer. I found the regular 2 seconds tent slightly more spacious, with 1 extra inch at the peak height at the front of the tent, 1 extra inch at the lowest height at the back of the tent, as well as 1 extra inch in length and width. It's not really a big difference to me though, and I think they're both supposed to be the same. Just bear in mind that Decathlon recommends using a sleeping pad with a maximum height of 2.4 inches for both tents, and here's what both of them look like with my Climate Double V with 2.5 inches of loft. Anything higher would greatly reduce livable space inside the tent, and I felt quite squashed inside the tent with an 8-inch mattress. Both the regular 2 seconds tent and the fresh and black tent have 2 pockets in each tent, but the fresh and black has pockets that are quite a bit bigger and each pocket is actually split into 2 for more organization. A significant difference between both Quechua tents is that the fresh and black 2 seconds tent comes with this blackout fabric. It not only blocks out a significant amount of sunlight during the day, but it also comes with UV protection of SPF 50. Another significant difference between both Quechua 2 seconds tents is the amount of ventilation that you get in each tent. Both tents have 1 small rear vent each, but the rear vent of the regular 2 seconds tent has to be guyed out to stay open. Both tents also come with 2 small spaces in the rainfly here, 1 on each length of the tent, which open up to the main body of the tent. Also, if you leave the outer door open, both tents have 1 mesh window. But the window of the fresh and black 2 seconds tent is slightly larger for more ventilation. Also, it comes with 2 of these large vents at the sides of the tent, 1 at each length. For maximum ventilation, you can leave the vents completely open. Or if it's raining, you can open these vents partially by hooking the 2 S-hooks of each vent to the 2 guy lines here. The portion of mesh on the other side of these vents, which is inside the tent, can also be opened and closed as well. What's even more amazing is that both vents can be opened and closed from the inside of the tent. Another feature that the fresh and black 2 seconds tent has is that the rainfly at the back can be lifted off the ground for some ventilation by unbuckling this blue buckle and then pulling on this blue string from the inside of the tent. I don't usually do this because I stake down the tent, but you can if you want to. When I slept in both tents overnight on my own, I found it much less stuffy inside the fresh and black 2 seconds tent, while the regular 2 seconds tent was a bit stuffier. This is because I left the 2 vents of the fresh and black tent completely open. Also, for the regular 2 seconds tent, I noticed a few drops of condensation on the roof of the tent the next morning, while the fresh and black had no condensation. Both my Quechua 2 seconds tents performed great in my rain tests. Both have rainflies with full coverage and no water would leak through the rainfly and into the tent. Both 2 seconds tents have bathtub features extending up to 5 inches each, as well as the same seams in the flooring, which I found that a little bit of water leaked through. The fresh and black 2 seconds tent had more leaking than my regular tent because it's an older tent, so the seam tape had degraded more. I also noticed that the fresh and black 2 seconds tent has this small extended eave at the front of the tent on top of the door, while the regular 2 seconds tent does not. Both Quechua 2 seconds tents have about the same packed size, though I found the fresh and black 2 seconds tent to be slightly bigger. The bigger difference is in weight. The regular 2 seconds tent weighs about 5.5 pounds for just the tent and the carry bag alone without stakes, while the fresh and black 2 seconds tent weighs 7.2 pounds for just the tent and carry bag alone, which is about 25% more. I paid around 30% more for the Fresh and Black 2 seconds tint compared to the regular 2 seconds tint because of the additional blackout feature as well as the fresh technology that comes with more vents and ventilation. Also, note that the Fresh and Black 2 seconds tint comes with only 5 guidelines while the regular 2 seconds tint comes with 7 guidelines, although both can take a maximum of 7 guidelines. If you enjoyed this video so far, please help me hit that like button, thank you, and I really appreciate it. So, the Fresh and Black 2 seconds tint is more expensive, heavier, and takes half a minute more to set up and take down. But this is because it comes with Decathlon's Fresh and Black technology, blackout fabric, and 2 extra vents for more ventilation. If you're on more of a budget, go for the regular 2 seconds tint. It works fantastic in the rain, wind, and sets up real fast. But just bear in mind that ventilation can be limited if you have to close the door and window. If you've got a little more to spare, the Fresh and Black 2 seconds tint will give you a lot more ventilation and comfort. After using the regular tint, I felt significantly more comfortable inside the Fresh and Black 2 seconds tint. But just bear in mind that if you live in a humid climate like I do, the blackout fabric will eventually degrade after a few years and you've got to change out the tint. I would say that both tints are worth the price that you're going for. I got plenty of use out of both tints over the few years that I've had them and would recommend both. To find out how these two Quechua 2 seconds tints compare against other pop-up tints in the market, check out this video right here. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.